Let's go back to some of the people you used to work with. You were coming in town, and, first you were coming in town. You weren't coming to town. All of a sudden, you give me a call. Hey, man, I'm in town. Let's do something. So, shit, we'll just come by the house. So last night I got on YouTube and was watching a couple of matches that you had just to shoot the shit and open up a can of audio whoop-ass, which we already have done, and just shoot the shit about the business because so many people love to hear stories about life on the road or in the ring. I got a chance to watch right in the middle of the part of a match where you were working with Bill Goldberg. Goldberg, I think you probably worked with him a bunch of times. Which match were we watching?
That was number one. That was
the first one.
That was Halloween Havoc. It was for the world title. I was hot as hell. He was hot as hell.
Yeah.
Two baby faces.
Man, that was a good match. I'm halfway through it, but good psychology. I mean, the thing I always liked about Bill, here's the thing. Back when I started getting real hot, right on my heels, Goldberg starts getting hot. Of course, you were getting hot too.
Yeah,
you were right in that same kind of parallel path.
Too, though. Yeah,
no, but to my point, there's Goldberg, and of course, you had your diehard WCW fans, your diehard WWF fans. So, I would be going down an airport, and someone would say, "Goldberg," I'm thinking, you motherfucker, I'm the original. And of course, I talked to Bill. Bill's a good friend of mine, as he is yours.
Yes.
And every now and then, he would get the Stone Cold. And it was like he didn't want to be called Stone Cold, and I didn't want to be called Goldberg. But anyway, some great bumps in that match. And I never got a chance to work with Goldberg. That would have been a great match, obviously.
Yeah, you guys
for obvious reasons, the matchup, the look, the chemistry that I think we could have had. But Goldberg was an explosive, strong guy. And I think from a physicality standpoint, anybody can see that the dude's built like a brick shithouse.
Yeah.
But that dude was stronger than fuck.
Yeah, and I'll tell you what, I brought my Doc, Doc West. I brought him with me to that, laying out the match, because this guy's only been working less than a year and a half.
Right.
You got to remember
was
that.
Was he that green in the business?
That green in the business.
That was a hell of a match.
And for us to have that, you could feel the cutting of it was just so thick with the people jacked up. And I just watched Hogan and Warrior go like 40 minutes.
Right.
And now what's happened after I get to the ring, 2/3 of the country don't ever see this match. They got to see it on Monday Nitro the next night, which I love because we did like
stop. Well, what do you mean Hogan and Warrior just went 40 minutes? Because that
3 o'clock. 3 hours.
3 hours.
3 hours.
So y'all went over.
We didn't. A third of the country saw us. 2/3, they had to repay these guys. This is a big pay-per-view too, Warrior and Hogan.
Yeah.
So they had to pay these people. And it was the beauty of it for me. They had to play it on Nitro the next night.
Oh, that was prime time.
That was like an 8.2 rating.
Exactly.
With all the momentum, all the shit.
How was it working with Bill?
I loved it because we were buddies back. I met him in a strip joint 6 years before he ever got in the business.
Right.
And you know me, I was always like, dude, you should be doing this business.
Yeah.
He's got the look, the size,
the rap. His old man never scored.
But he had a full head of hair. Mm-hmm. So when he shaved his head, I go,
damn, what did Bill look like with a full head of hair?
Different.
Yeah.
Not as intimidating.
Oh, yeah. He's got a
not
good
as
look.
intimidating. And his girl, Lisa, at the time, before he got married, and he was with Lisa a long time, she's the one who came up with that tribal thing. And nobody really had that tribal tattoo type thing back then. So it really did. You guys, I'll tell you what, and I got to put you both over because I think of this all the time. White man, bald head. It was Mr. Clean before that. It wasn't over.
Right.
You two guys, you made it fucking over for guys to shave their fucking heads. Because it looked good.
Well, people had been doing that shit way before I did it.
No, that dude got over with it. Over with it. Michael Jordan and Charles Barkley made it cool for brothers.
Yeah.
And then it slid over to this, and it was a good, because it's a good look. And his, it was intimidating.
Here, a quick story. I think I probably told this on the show before. When I was down in WCW and Stunning Steve Austin had that long blonde hair. That was my natural hair color. I never bleached my hair in my life. I had the baddest, the coolest color in the world.
Right.
It was all natural. I was going to get the lifetime guarantee on them follicles. Motherfuckers started receding back to the south. You know what I'm saying? So anyway, you know how it is when you break into the business. The guy who broke you in has all the answers to any question you may want to ask. Correct?
Right.
It's the way it is.
Right.
He's your mentor. So I'm kind of losing my hair. I figure, man, I better call Chris Adams and ask what I need to do about losing my hair.
Right.
So, of course, that's the dumbest thing in the world that you would expect another wrestler to know all of life's answers. So I call him up and say, Chris, Steve. Hey, Steve, how you doing? You know, a British accent.
Right.
I said, hey, man, I'm doing pretty good. I just want to ask you a question. I said, hey, man, I'm kind of starting to lose my hair in the front. What do you think? What should I do? And what do you think he said?
Shave your head?
No. He said, fuck, Steve, I don't know. So anyway, hung up the phone.
He had a full head of hair, didn't he?
Yeah, of course he did.
Fuck, you're fucked.
Because I'm living outside of Atlanta, and this time when a hair club for men was really popular back then. But it's only about 1994. So I book an appointment and go down to Hair Club for Men. There's Moolah the watchdog. So I go to the Hair Club for Men, and this good-looking blonde comes in. I'm sitting on a stool in the middle of a room. She comes in, puts on a pair of rubber gloves, breaks out these 2 wooden tongue depressors, and starts combing through my shit, right, my wig. And she goes, well, you know, we can take this and move it over here and move this over here. You know, stumbling to hair plugs and tearing off my scalp and replacing it right here on these widow's peak gimmicks.
Right.
And all of a sudden I say, okay, yeah, sounds good. Okay, I said, I'll book another appointment, come back, and we'll do it. Well, shit, they didn't never hear from my ass again. It was back in 94, man. I ain't going to get a bunch of shit, torched off my head and put back, or, a couple times they were taking, I think back in the day, weren't they using pubic hair on people and shit like that?
They cut out the back, and then they take
the shit cut out the back, put it down in the
shit.
front,
So it is your hair, but it's just from the back to the front. And, some of the work I've seen is pretty fucking damn good. But for you, it was the best thing ever happened to you, dude. Because stunning Steve look wouldn't have made it. You had to go through all the shit to get to the spot to be in that place.
Oh yeah. Everything turned out like gangbusters. Yep. But anyway, so we're working with Goldberg. You guys have a badass match, and then
let me tell you behind the scene thing.
Okay. This is what my people want to hear behind the scenes.
Behind the scene, he don't want to miss the spear. Now, 3 weeks out, I'm already because Billy, we're off the road. We're on the road all the time. And we don't get to work on the road.
Hey, let's talk about that. How often were you guys? I mean, because man, we were swinging it down in WWF. It was, out of 30 days, probably on the road, 25, 26.
Absolutely. And if I wasn't doing that, I was doing the Tonight Show. I was doing Hollywood Squares. I was always doing something. Right. So I was home like maybe 2 or 3 days a week.
So you guys are busting ass.
Busting ass. But now I've cut that shit back because I know I can't go out there and steal the show. As green as he is, I'll just have another match like he's had with everybody else. So I want him to come down to Power Plant where we started and start to just roll through some stuff just to show him some stuff. And the big thing was, Billy, you've never missed a spear. You got to miss the spear. He goes, I can't miss the spear. I go, you got to trust me on this. When you hit me with it, it's going to be fucking huge. He goes, how do I miss the spear? So I come up with a couple different ways. And then one time I'm explaining to him, I'm laying in the ropes the way I would do with my arms over the top rope.
Yeah, scarecrow.
Yeah, right. And I go, you come at me. And you come at me, I'll be gone. And if you watch that match, watch it back. He comes at me, I boot him, he sets it up, and he comes running. Man, he did not want me to miss the spear.
He did not want to miss
that spear. He came, I miss him by fucking
a cunt hair.
A cunt hair. Exactly. It might have been a calf of cunt hair.
Yeah.
And he keeps going because he's Bill, and it's got to be real to Bill, and that's what got Bill over too. Right. But he hit his shoulder so hard on the post. Boom, he goes down, right? So I bring him in, and now you'll see I go to pick him up. He don't get up. So I grab a hold because I know he's blowing sky high right now. And
was he blowing sky high or hurt?
He's hurt,
okay,
and he's blown
up. Yeah.
He's a little bit of both. He's a little bit of both. So now we get to the end, and now, he misses. He gets the spear. Now, pay attention here big time because when someone like a Bill Goldberg is coming with that spear, if you don't take your own bump, you're fucked. He cracked Big Show's sternum by hitting that big fucker because Big Show ain't taking that kind of bump for him at that time. Right. So he's going through everybody, and he was, 169 and 170, 100. They kept getting bigger and bigger. I'm talking about 400, 450, 500-pound guys. None of those guys are flat backing. Yeah. So he's spearing them. He's shooting. When he gets to me, and he's going to get this spear, and he's so pissed he's missed the first, he's still in his head. He comes at me, bro. I am a napkin. You don't even feel me. By the time he goes through, and his head goes all the way through and almost pulled what you did with Owen. His head hits the mat first, then my body. So I don't know it, but he's out. So, I know he's going to pick me up. fucking go to do the gimmick, and I'm gonna drop behind him and diamond cut him. But he ain't really, you can tell he's a little day street, but I think he's just selling.
Right.
He pops up, he does that, and he picks me up, and he puts me down. I'm thinking, fuck, he's really selling, because I don't know he's on Queer Street.
Yeah.
Right?
That simply means he's almost knocked out.
Right. He don't know where he's at. He's in a dream. But he's so in the game that he can move on autopilot.
Yeah.
I go up, drop behind him, hit him with diamond cutter, fucking place explodes. I'm waiting 10 seconds to get there because I know he's kicking out, right?
Yeah.
But he's going to kick out.
That's that creative liberty you take when you hit that big finish and you want to protect it, but you're walking a razor blade, because if you take too long, crowd ain't gonna buy into it. They know what you're doing. You're buying time.
Yep.
So it's really, you got to make the right judgment call on the timing.
Absolutely.
Protect the finish, but also keep the fans hanging.
And at the same time, you got to remember that I just took the spear.
Right.
So
you got something to sell.
I've got really something to sell. So finally I crawl over.
You really have something to sell.
I really have something to sell. But I don't, because he ain't hurt me. He's hurt himself.
Yeah.
And when I fucking lay my arm on him, I'm expecting the 1, 2, yeah. It goes 1, 2, and he kicks out. And I was like, motherfucker.
Yeah.
I was so pissed.
Because if you guys follow the story, man, a kick out on 2, something as spectacular as what has just happened is addressing dog shits. That's a 2 9/10.
Yes,
That's
absolutely.
the kick out.
Yeah,
I mean, that's what you're looking for.
Where the ref might have fucked up, and it still didn't count. So we go into then he goes. I go to do something to him. He reverse hits me. A jackhammer takes you up, pins me 1, 2, 3. We come to the back, and fucking I walk up. I go, Billy. I go, awesome match, dude. But why the fuck would you kick that on 2? He goes, D. I don't remember anything coming up to that spear. Like, I don't remember anything. Shoot, but I know it's happened to me, so I just gave him a hug and said, well, it was a fucking damn good match, bro. Now, another behind-the-scenes story. Dusty Rhodes pulls me over before the match. Afternoon. Or, I already know what I'm doing, what the finish is, all that shit. And Dusty pulls me aside. And, Dusty's my mentor. Without Dusty Rhodes, there is no Diamond Dallas Page. He's before Jake. He's before anybody. He did everything for me in the beginning. And he was my mentor and brother throughout it all, still is today.
Yeah.
And he pulled me over and said, kid, come here. I was talking to Bischoff, and I said to him, do we really want to do this? D's ready. I go, you talk to Bischoff about putting the strap on me? He goes, last chance. He said, this is your time. He goes, I want him to know it. And what Bischoff said, because, Goldie needed to be beaten, but he didn't need to. Mine would have been probably the best way, because he could have taken it off me the fucking next pay-per-view. And then I'm out of shit. And people would have bought it, as opposed to a taser or whatever the fuck that stupid thing was. But at that time, that weekend is coming out on the cover of Entertainment Weekly, wearing the world title with his hands on his hips. He's on TV Guide. He's everywhere wearing the title. So Bischoff didn't want to confuse the marketing, which I think it would have been better. But, it is what it is. And, I was so thankful to have that match. It's one of my favorite 5 matches.
But see, that's a case where, it'd been great to have the strap right then. But the match helped you.
Oh, yes.
More than it hurt. The loss did not hurt you.
No, it didn't at all.
Yeah, a ball buster of a match, and the fact that, he's Goldberg.
Yes.
And anybody positioned correctly, the outcome really doesn't matter. It's academic. Doesn't matter, yes. Doesn't matter, no.
No. And the biggest thing was, everyone always says, you had the best match Goldberg ever had. And Bill will say, and what was really cool, because I'm really good friends with Jericho now,
is he still doing DDP yoga?
Oh, dude, he's the biggest advocate ever. I mean, he does.
Well, tell me the story.
So Chris and Jericho, Chris and Goldberg had that gimmick in the backstage. I don't know whatever happened, but what that was about.
Yeah.
But, if it was, you never know if it was angle, shoot. You don't know that. We don't know. They know. But, they had a hell of a match. And Bill called me after that match. And he said, I just want to thank you for what you taught me back then and how important certain things were. He goes, because me and Jericho just had a hell of a match. And he called me and thanked me, and I was like, wow. That was like so cool, That was like so cool.